everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. I couldn't get my hand into my pocket there. Yeah, it's cold. My hands are cold. I have circulation issues because of my medication, so I couldn't feel it. That's my excuse, and I am sticking to it. As I said in my chicken and garden update, although I know not many of you watch it, I hope you had a peaceful and a safe start to 2025. And thank you again for joining me here on Transport Evolved Take 2. As you may have noticed, on the main channel, we have changed things up a bit. We've changed some of our publishing days just to try and reduce burnout on the team, to make things easier for us, to allow us to do bigger, longer production projects when and as they come in. But today, I want to start off our Sunday musings of 2025 with a very simple question. If you are an EV driver, you probably know the answer more readily than if you are not an EV driver. But I think this question is something that all of you can answer. And that question is quite simply, how much did your electricity bills go up by during 2024? Now, we've talked about price rises before on the channel, and we've talked about the fact that energy is becoming more and more expensive. Even if you generate your own electricity, the chances are you probably also pull some from the grid at some point or other. And I know that a lot of the feed-in tariff programs have changed over the last couple of years. So electricity companies are no longer crediting as much as they used to for electricity. And that can also reduce the amount of money that you get back from electricity companies for generating your own power. And of course, that can have the knock-on effect of increasing your overall electricity bill. Here in the Pacific Northwest, I am a customer of PGE, that's Portland General Electric, not to be confused with PG&E, which is Pacific Gas and Electric, which is down in California. But PGE just successfully had approval to raise prices again this January on electricity. And that means our electricity bill is just going to keep going up. Now, obviously, driving an EV means that your electricity bill is going to be higher. If you do any large distance travel, or like me, you have someone who charges up at the house every day, it does mean that your electricity bill does go up. If you are just what I would call an average EV driver, and you maybe do 20 miles a day or 30 miles a day, you probably don't notice your electricity bill going up quite as much. But here at the house, we've seen the effects of the massive price hikes that have existed this year in our electricity bill. And of course, last month in December, we had basically non-stop rain for the entire month, and we generated very little electricity. I think it's probably one of the worst months for electricity since we've had photovoltaic solar panels on the roof of our home. And the knock-on effect of that is that our last month's electricity bill was pushing $850 for a month. Now, bear in mind, I know that sounds like a lot. We use electricity here for everything. We don't have any other form of heating. We don't have any other form of power at all. The electricity has to pump water from our well. It has to take care of our sewerage back to our septic system. It has to provide heat for the home. We have a wood shop, which also has a heater in it. That heater is not as efficient as I would like, but at least the garage is now fully insulated. So that does help. But it all goes into increasing our consumption, especially as my beloved is in the shop on their days off working and doing woodworking. That is going to have an impact on our overall electricity bill. Also, of course, we have 2 EVs ourselves. We have an employee who's here most days that we charge up their car, and then when other members of the team are here, they also need charging. This week, for example, I think at one point we had 5 EVs charging all in one go. And our electricity, I looked at our meter at one point, and we were pulling 48 kilowatts from the grid, plus making our own electricity. So yeah, we're not normal in terms of our consumption. Of course, we also have a server room with all of the videos on it and everything else, and that also impacts how much electricity we use. It's expensive. But I know that for regular folks, electricity costs are going up, and I would love to figure out, where the largest changes have been. I know that Portland General Electric, their prices went up, I think, by 19% in January last year, and I think they're going to go up again like 7 or 8% this January, this month. But I know in other parts of the world, electricity prices have gone up as well. I know that some countries, like the UK, have benefited from the transition to renewable electricity, and while costs have gone up, I also know if you are signed up to the right tariff, I have friends who have signed up with Octopus and other providers in the UK who charge their EVs for free when the grid is producing excess electricity even. I'm having worm problems today, obviously. And if that's you, tell me about it in the down below, because I don't think it's necessarily all bad and doom and gloom. But I would love to know if we can build up a cartographic picture of where electricity prices have gone up the most, where they have gone down the most, or where the change has been as minimal as possible. Let me know in the down below roughly where you live. You don't have to give me your address, but just say, hey, I live in this country. And if you feel confident and happy doing so, tell me maybe your utility provider and how much you have paid per kilowatt hour. But be sure to include things like the transmission costs and all the other stuff that gets tacked on, because I know electricity companies like to do this. They go, oh, your electricity is only going to cost you 7 cents per kilowatt hour. And you go, oh, that's not too bad. And then when you get the bill, you realise that 7 cents per kilowatt hour, after they've added on transmission charges and administration fees and everything else, the actual price you're paying per kilowatt hour of electricity is probably closer to 10, 11, 12 cents, which can make a significant difference to how much you have to pay. And also, how do you monitor your energy use as you go through the month? I know I have a home integration setup that not only reads instantaneous power draw, so I can tell you, for example, today we have generated about 30 kilowatt hours on the roof of the house because it's been a nice sunny day. And we've probably pulled about 90 kilowatt hours, 90, from the grid, because again, we have a Chevrolet Bolt whose battery pack was almost empty this morning and has now just stopped charging. So that was a substantial part of the day's energy use. So let me know in the doobly down below what your electricity changes were last year and what it looks like, if you know, towards the end of this year. How does it look for you in 2025? Perhaps you bought solar a long time ago and you're about to be free of your solar loan. I know that personally I've looked forward to 2028 when we will have paid off our solar panels, we will have paid off our heat pumps, and we will have paid off my pickup truck. And at that point, well, I'm going to have some extra money every month that will probably have to go towards all of the insurance and everything else that will inevitably have increased in the 3 years between now and then. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Leave your thoughts in the down below and I'll be back next week.
Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them in our Discord chat room, on our Patreon page, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon or Blue Sky. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are part of the massive community of fans around the world that help fund this channel through Patreon and YouTube, covering our bills, paying our team, and making sure that we can remain 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. We now have new Patreon tiers that support a wide range of donation amounts, ranging from $1.50 US a month, or if you'd prefer, about $15 a year. A massive welcome to our newest supporters: Carol Bulawa, Anna Atamelodian, Scott Wilson, Obi-Wan, Merrick Hurst, Smokey Lothar, Falafel Kosa, J01, Gary, Christopher, Randall Astaro, and Jimitri. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your moment of fame. And remember, you can now gift a membership to someone else. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll also find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have a good old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at. Address you'll also find below. And if you're in need of some swag, our TE swag store is also linked. So we can focus on making our content even better this year and reduce team burnout, we're switching our release days to Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday on our main channel, and if you like something a little more laid back at the weekend, over on Take 2 you'll find a release there on a Sunday. Transport Evolved is going through some pretty big changes this year though, so keep your eyes and ears peeled as we have some more exciting ways you can support us and more exciting ways to interact with us coming very soon. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we also think that this one is well worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving.